Talk.com.
Okay, welcome back to the Central Valley Buzz. I'm your host, Chuck Leonard. My guest now, Chase Goossen. Chase, how's it going?
It's going really well, Chuck. How are you?
Now, I've known your father for quite a while.
Okay.
And I was talking to him not long ago, and he says, you know what? You have to meet my son. And I go, well, I'm sure he's a great guy, Mike, just like you. He says, well, he's a little bit different. And I said, I understand different. I mean, Chuck Leonard, right?
Right.
And he goes, no, you don't understand. My son is in college, and he's a right-wing Republican conservative.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
Well, I mean, if you know my dad, so you know that he's very Republican as well. And I mean, not really Republican because that has had a negative connotation in my view, but conservative mostly, and conservative values and traditional values, Christian values that I was brought up on, kind of just worked out. And in my mind, it's more logical in a lot of ways, but at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at both parties because they both have really good ideas, and not one party is necessarily completely right because, you know, everybody's flawed. So I like to think of myself as more conservative, but I try to keep as open of mind as possible when I'm talking about stuff with people.
But you're in college, Chase. You should be raising hell and drinking and chasing women. But how do you get to be the conservative Republican at such a young age? I mean, you said your father. I know Mike's a really straight shooter,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I mean, come on, that's not how you're going to get the chicks.
You know, I like
that's it.
you know, I do enjoy partying every once in a while. I'm not 21 yet, so I don't drink. But you know, I do have a lot of fun with my friends when we go out and we still party. And yes, I can still pick up women. I mean, I still have the ability to do so. Plus, if you're drunk, it makes it way too easy. So there's no really challenge there anymore. But it's it's different, and I like to be different, and I like to be able to, you know, have good, solid conversations with people. And I'd say that most of my friends and most of the people, like you're saying, in college don't care about anything but having fun and stuff. And I like to look at the direction the country's taking right now and see that there's a lot of issues that are going on with it. And so then I, you know, make YouTube videos or do whatever, and I try to put forth the ideas that I think are necessary. I don't pretend, or I try not to pretend like I know everything, but I try to learn as much as I can and help people out there my age as much as possible learn stuff, and you know, try to focus more on what's important, which I think is important, which is, you know, politics and the future of the country.
Now, you said you make YouTube videos?
Yeah.
What are they about?
I started YouTube like 3 years ago, but that was when I was a gamer. So, you know, there's the fun aspect of it, and I played video games strictly for a while, and I started a gaming channel. But then this month, or like this year, I decided to start a political channel to get the word out there to more conservative values and stuff like that, and just to get you know, people talking, because my friends don't really talk about politics. They don't really care as much.
Right.
So I was just trying to, you know, get some people interested and to get some ideas out there so that people are thinking about other things, because, you know, the economy and Obamacare and all that stuff, it's all important and it's all relevant to our lives. And I feel like that nobody really looks at it. And so I'm just trying to get people intrigued in the idea as much as I can.
Your friends, are like, oh, Chase is talking politics again?
You know, sometimes they are. I try not to talk too much about it unless they ask me. A lot of times, though, now they're starting to ask me, and we're really starting to get into more in-depth ideas. I've met a couple of new friends that are actually really into the idea. One of the friends that loves talking politics most with me is Canadian, actually, and she's just here going to FPU. And she loves talking about it because she loves America and she loves the political system that we have in a constitutional republic. And, you know, she's Canadian, so she has a little bit different perspective than most of us here who have just grown up in a...
How does she feel about Bieber? Have you ever asked?
Oh, we actually it was my friend's birthday last night, and we were partying at his house, and we actually had a very good discussion because one of his songs came on my party playlist, and no one likes him.
Bieber is on your playlist?
You know,
I'm telling your dad.
My dad doesn't even know who Justin Bieber is. I mean, come on. No, but we're very disappointed that he got so popular. I thought he had a good voice when he was younger, but he's kind of a douche now.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you there.
And she hates him too. So I think Canada and USA are, you know, combined in the thought process that Bieber's bad.
So are you going to be running for office when you get older?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think you have to be 25 in order to run for Congress. I was very disappointed when my dad decided not to run for Congress and go for the assessor.
Right, the
race
county
that he's-
assessor.
The county assessor race that he's in right now, because I don't know anything about the assessor and or that office, and I'm not into taxes.
It's a very boring job.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't like money at all. Like, I'm complete opposite of my dad, and so there's no like policies that can be discussed if you're going through assessor. And I wish he had done Congress, but you know, I'm very much planning on running in the future when I get old enough.
What are you taking to school now?
What am I taking at school? I'm a communications major, and I actually write for my school's newspaper over in Reedley College is where I'm at
Okay.
right now. I'm playing basketball and stuff over there, which is another reason why I can't have too much fun, because, you know, you have to focus on getting your skills down for
How's the
basketball.
team?
I haven't seen it this year yet. We haven't quite started full practices yet, but it's going to be a very entertaining time.
Forward?
No, I'm actually a guard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 6'6". I'm like 6'2", 6'3", and that's actually short for college.
Right, so well, to me, you look a lot taller.
Yeah.
And-
Well, where I come from, that's average or below average. So most of my friends are all pretty short too. So they're always like, "You're so tall," but nah.
So
Not
you
tall.
live in Clovis but drive to Reedley?
I live on Shaw and Academy area,
Okay.
so way out there at we technically have a Singer address, but
Okay.
I'm more of a Clovis person.
So you just jam out Academy out to 180 to Reed, and
Yep.
you're right there,
Yeah,
right?
it's a lot of driving. I mean, I spend a lot of money on gas a week, which is another reason why I'm interested in politics, because I want to make sure that I can figure out a way to get the prices down, because $4 a gallon in my truck, that gets like 18 miles per gallon maybe, so I'm paying at least like $60 a week because the amount I drive, because I drive a long ways.
Well, when you do get into the office, and I'm pretty sure you are, you make sure that we just get a better public transportation system out here that connects all these little cities to Fresno.
You know, that there's a possibility of that, but at this point in time, we don't really have money to be spending on that type of stuff.
Here you go, the conservative coming out again.
It's just, I mean, like, you can't balance a checkbook if you're building a whole lot of new things. So I feel like you need to balance that
So
first.
you're not for high speed rail?
Not in the way that we're doing it. If we could do it, there was, I don't remember where this was, but some private industry was thinking about doing the same type of thing, and I would be more into it if it was privatized rather than governmentized, because it just costs so much money, and California has no money at all.
Well, you know, I think you're wrong there. I think we have a lot of money.
Well, okay, we don't use it very well then.
Okay.
I mean, we have a lot of taxes. I mean, we're like the highest tax state in the union.
Do you think we should be taxed less?
It really depends on the situation. I would say more of a kind of like the Herman Cain 999 thing is a good idea, in my opinion.
You start
like,
quoting Herman Cain, you're not getting an office, Chase.
Right,
You
well,
realize that,
I
right?
realize that, but I'm not saying that Herman Cain's the best person in the world, but I'm just saying that idea that he had is kind of an idea that I like, where it's a flat tax and everybody pays it, because the top 20% of people pay 90% of taxes right now in the nation.
Well,
So,
you know, I hear those numbers, but I'd like to see some backup on them, because you know who I think's making those numbers?
who?
The conservatives.
Right, but the CEO is making numbers. You could say the same thing about Obamacare, though. I mean, they went from like 4 million sign-ups to 7.1, which is almost the exact number they were shooting for, and they got 3 million in 1 month when they can only get 4 million in 6 months. Another number that might have been fudged. And that's the problem with politics. Everybody likes to mess with numbers and twist it to make it so that it's their own personal opinion. So I just try to stay away from, you know, Republican or Democrat, and just try to come up with ideas that work and, you know, that aren't, you know, partisan in any way. You know, just take everything.
In your conservative opinion,
Yeah.
what do you think America needs to do to get back on track?
There's so many things you do. One of the biggest things that I think is important is energy independence, in my opinion, whether it be fracking or even, you know, environmentally safer things like solar and wind. I mean, if we can make all of our energy here and not be exporting it and not have to import so much, then not only would our money not be going overseas, but then we'd be able to keep it here at home, and then we wouldn't have such a deficit. I mean, we got, what, $17.5 trillion in debt, at least right now, and it's building. So if we could keep the money here rather than sending it overseas like we do to our enemies in like Saudi Arabia and, you know, those types of areas, or Russia, then, you know, it'd be better to keep all of that here.
Gosh,
So we'd be
remember
safe.
when Bill Clinton was in office and we had that massive general fund?
You know, I was very young at that point, so I don't remember very much of the Clinton
Well,
administration.
it was for real, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Chase. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It was a great time.
Nice to have you.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, is it Military Appreciation Day? Yeah. Well, we got someone here to talk about it.
I like
Stick
that.
around.